Morning, everybody. It's not easy standing in front of people. It's actually very, very difficult. I'm short-sighted, so I don't wear glasses for show off, but I think I can see what I need to see. And glasses sometimes are heavy, they press you all over, so I want to feel relaxed, so I'm going to remove them so that I can have a better view. Okay, so the camera, guys, those of you that are live, this part, please don't air it. I'll tell you when to start recording. Yeah, you can record since we're going to edit, but if you're live, please hold on, because I want to mention a few names, so I don't want it to be recorded. You know, we live in a time when we're very naked. Anything can go anywhere if you say it wrongly and can be misinterpreted. Yes, on Friday, I was presenting at a wealth creation conference. I don't know why they invited me because I'm not wealthy, but it was a beautiful time I had with the guys in Blantyre. This morning, after my jog, a young lady, I don't know her. She came to my gate. She's shivering now, I can see her. She came to my gate. That's why I didn't want this recorded, because I've got her off guard. I found her at my gate. And I'm like, can I help you? Is everything okay? Should I be worried? She's like, no, everything is fine. I just want to talk to you. So I'm like, what do you want to talk to me about? She's like, just my professional life. And I was like, okay, look, I'm presenting today down at the hotel down the road. Why don't you go quickly get showered up and let's meet there. And I'm happy to see her in the pews. So I'll be talking to you, and feel free to talk to any professionals here. I don't even know if she's SDA or if she's, I don't know, but I just told her to come. So if people are asking different questions, you never know, you could be answering somebody's question for years and helping them out. Okay, and then lastly, don't record this part again. So some of you see me traveling around the world, and there's been rumors I sell drugs. And I'm sure after my team has done the presentation, you've seen how beautiful they are. They don't look like drug dealers or drug addicts. The reason I travel around the world is because I need to get these connections and agreements with different mobile operators so that we can be able to run our services. Recording, guys, we can start. The pursuit of excellence. I'm sure some of you have watched this movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, right? Beautiful movie by Will Smith. And on Friday, I didn't talk about the Bible because it was a professional event. I'm sure I wouldn't be judged for that. But today I felt it wise, this being a church program, to start with a verse, Philippians 4:13. It's my favorite verse. I can do all things. Not some, not one or two, not a bit, but all things through Christ who gives me strength. This verse starts with I. So this verse doesn't exist without you. You literally can remove it. The day I die, this verse dies with me. So you literally can remove it from the Bible if you don't exist. So it's a verse that assures us of the strength we have, regardless of the weaknesses that the world says we have. So I hope by the time we leave today, you will believe that you can do everything and anything through who? Christ, who gives us strength. Meet Sam. That's me right there. That suit used to be called DB. They were there. It was bought on lay-by. My mom paid for this suit for 6 months for me to wait on my graduation. So every time she gets an allowance, they go pay. And that day, I thought I was looking really good until I look at it again, and I was like, okay. It probably was not as good. Everybody else seems to be looking better than me on that picture. But that was on my dad's graduation, and that's my family. Challenges growing up. I had serious esteem problems. I've never talked about this. I write these things on LinkedIn, on Facebook, here and there, but I've never really shared them in an audience like I'm doing now. I'll try my best not to be emotional, but I'm not doing this for you. I'm not trying to talk to me. I'm trying to talk to you. Because I'm sure there's somebody sitting here who resonates with my story. I had serious esteem issues, and I used to hide it through my talking and my sense of humor. When they buy me new clothes, my parents don't know this, and when they watch this, I think they'll be shocked. When they buy me new clothes, I would wash them again so that they don't look new. When they get me new shoes, I would repolish them so that they don't look new. I felt good things belong to certain people and not me. And I think this is a trauma that comes from being a pastor's child. I'll tell you why. When we have good food, it's at the elder's house. When we sit at a sofa, it's at the elder's house. When we're in a good car, it's the elder's car or a church member. Our parents, we grew up where we're always looking out for visitors because we knew either we'll get some pocket change or something unusual would happen when there are visitors. So we often looked for good things outside the home. I never felt like I was good at anything. I would know an answer to an idea, but I would keep it to myself because I felt like if John is here, definitely what I'm going to say is not worth it. Let me leave John. And I'll know that John has actually given the wrong answer. I think I have a better answer. But I'll still believe that John is better than me. I never understood why, as a pastor, we didn't have basics like a car, a fridge. We used to keep meat at the neighbors. Sometimes they tell you it's full, then you have to go to house B. Watch TV at the neighbors' houses. I always wanted to have a computer because I was in computer preschool, thanks to my dad. He enrolled me. And I used to pray to God, dear God, I'll be walking and saying, God, when I get home, I want to find a computer. I'll get home and there was no computer. And I didn't understand. They say we should have faith. I said this prayer so many times, and trust me, I finished school and left home without a computer. But now I have access to so many computers. So sometimes God answers prayers in his time, at his time, right? Other fundamental elements. My parents taught us about Jesus and God. We had worship every day. Oh, it's a lot of work. It's not as fun as you might sound here. You know, you just sing it just for the sake of, we have to do this. And the sad part is, they were not even bringing different songs. It was the same song every morning. Mukalendine. This was a daily song. I know it from head to bottom because we had to have worship. My dad was a pastor. He is a pastor, retired. My mom, a tailor. They tried to give us the best they could within their potential or what they could afford. I was a coward. I feared taking risks. I always thought of I speak very good English, but that word stresses me. I always thought of the consequences to every decision I made. I was an average student. You're looking at number 3 to 13. Is that average or? That's good, right? It's not average. So we'll edit that. On the videos, we'll edit that. I was a good student. Between position 3 and 13. That's me in Solusi Adventist Secondary School with my classmates. I talk to most of them. I'm still in touch with them. I see their faces and I recognize them and I still talk to them. Always keep in touch with people that you've made. You never know when you will need them. Our country manager in Botswana right now, I was introduced to him by my classmate. So don't take those connections for granted, that you could use them in the future. Remember, I'm talking about pursuit to excellence, right? I didn't want to go to Solusi Adventist Secondary School. It was famous of corporal punishment. That was my only problem. I didn't have a problem with the diet. But I knew, knowing myself, that one day I will have to be punished. So I didn't want to go there. But sadly, I ended up at Solusi. I adjusted eventually and enjoyed my school and met amazing friends and teachers. I had lunch in South Africa last month with my accounts teacher. I had normal fees for the first year only. The only time my fees was ever planned in my entire existence. For those of you with children, I don't have any. But plan for your children's education. They will go to high school. You know that. They'll go to university. You know that. So why are you waiting for the time they get to university to start preparing for university? I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because I'm a victim of a situation where my university and secondary education were not planned. So if you have children, start planning for them now. I don't know how you're going to do it, whether it's Old Mutual, I don't have an answer. But start planning for your kids. And if you're like me, who doesn't have children, you will have children one day. You better start planning for them today. So that when the time comes, you don't have to start. It's the worst thing that can happen to any child is for a child to be looking for school fees. No child should look for school fees. It's not their job. I looked for school fees from high school all the way through university. And because of that, I'm very passionate. I shouldn't be saying this on camera, and I'm not saying this, I'm saying this with all humility and as a way of trying to motivate somebody. I pay school fees at university level for over 10 students. Some, I don't even know them. And this is because I know what it feels like to look for school fees. So I'll be putting in a lot of jokes so that I don't get emotional. Because if I continue talking like without putting in jokes, it's gonna end in tears. Last of last week, I was at a restaurant in South Africa. I like eating out. I enjoy eating out a lot. And then I run later. How did you know that? I run every morning, actually. It's like he knows that. And I'm at this restaurant. I'm seated. They haven't opened, but I'm a bit aggressive, so I negotiated. They let me in. And there's two kids, a young guy and a lady, asking for a job to be waiters. They were from Zimbabwe. They're from Zimbabwe. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and they tell them there's no job. So I tell them, guys, let's have lunch. The two people joining me, but they're taking time and I need company. So let's have lunch. So I asked them, why do you want to be a waiter? I don't have anything against being a waiter. It's a profession like any other profession. And I asked them, why do you want to be a waiter? It's like, because there's nothing else we can do. Then I'm like, but what would you want? If somebody did something for you, what would you want? They said, we want to go to school. I said, okay, what were your grades in high school? They gave me their grades. I realized they're smart kids. One told me he wanted to do chemical engineering. The lady said she wanted to do hotel management. I told them, look, here's my email address, here's my number. I'm going to take you to school. Just choose a school you feel like. It could be in Zambia, Malawi, Kenya, wherever, and I will pay. And today, they're applying. I just got their email, and they will be going to school. So I'm very passionate about education. I'm very passionate about school. I don't know these people. Their numbers are not even yet saved in my phone. But I know how those children feel to walk around without an education they thought they would have. So parents now and parents to be, you will have your children go to university. Start planning for them now. How did I finish school? Malawi Union refused to pay my school fees. I started doing my dad's job, where I'm carrying letters to the union treasurer, and the union treasurer is sending 10-page letters denying my education. I'm being exposed to things I shouldn't be as a child. I'm beginning to hate the institution. I'm beginning to feel like other kids are being favored. I'm now going into church politics. I want my dad to work in the division and in the GC so that I can go to the university I want. Pastors, I don't know if we have any pastors here. If they're there, please reach out to them. Pastors, you know the problems we face as pastors' kids. You go to these conferences and have all this. I hope this is live now on Hope Channel. We go to all these conferences. I have never. I was invited to be in a PK WhatsApp group, and I asked them one question: what's the intention of this group? They said, "Come meetings, camps." I said, "You know what? I don't have time for that. Let's have groupings that solve the problems we grew up facing." If every pastor contributed 10,000 kwacha to a fund that will be withdrawn, that children can withdraw for school fees, a lot will change. You can't wait for a policy that's done in America to solve problems in Malawi. It's not going to happen. It's high time when we go to those meetings, before we serve the world, serve your children. Because we spend a lot of time making sure we bury people, we wed people, but we don't take time to check what can we do to fix the problems our children as pastors' kids face. So I thought of a strategy to write a letter to the General Conference. I'm worried about you. You're reading my mind, eh? I thought I started to write a letter to the GC. So I told my dad, write a letter to the division. Tell them I need money to write my Form 2. My dad agreed. I took the letter to the division, to Dr. Mfune's house. You know those days where you just arrive. They don't even know there are visitors coming. Who are these? Pastor Chiwanda's kids. Okay, so now people's programs need to change because somebody has arrived unannounced. We told him why we're there. He introduced us to this treasurer. The treasurer read the letters. The treasurer wrote a letter to Solusi Adventist School. And from then on, because I'd noticed something. Church people, the moment you write greetings in the name of the Lord, you've won. Whatever you're asking for will be given to you. And the moment, and one thing I noticed about they never used to read the whole mail. My child, Pastor Chiwanda's son, is sponsored for this. He didn't even finish. From that day on, I was regarded as a church-sponsored student. It's until the bill got to the union that there was disaster to say, how is this kid sponsored when he was not approved to be church-sponsored? High school is done. What is next? University. 2001, I get my results. There is nothing as painful as seeing your friends progress and you're stuck in one place. I think that's something that everybody faces. Your peers are buying cars. Your peers are telling you, I'm doing as a master of, these people are heartless, huh? They know you've not been to university and you mean, hi, how are you? I'm doing psychology at the University of Philippines. They even change their accent and you've been stuck for 2-3 years at home. Every time you go to your parents, they tell you, we're looking for school fees. And you're like, how are you looking when each morning you're going to the same office and coming back? So I spent a couple of years at home trying to raise school fees. And when I realized school fees was never going to come, I took matters into my own hands. I have some good and bad news for you. The earlier you take matters into your own hands, the better. Because you know what? No one is coming to save you. I have 2 degrees today. Had I not put matters into my own hands, I was not going to have those degrees. I'll explain as I go. I began to look for school fees. And that is why yesterday I told Howard, who was sitting here, that nobody is going to give you capital. You need to stand up and start looking for it. I was frustrated. My life was stuck. Everybody's life was progressing. I started using the skills I have. I started fixing computers. I started building computers. I remember my first customer was Mr. Sulumba and Mr. Kolowa. They bought computers I built. So I'd buy spare parts, put them together, and then sell the computer at a markup. The first internet cafe in Malamulo, there in the bush, was mine. And I set it up with a dial-up, with a dial-up line. Shock on me, at the end of the month, the bill came from MTL. It was 100,000 Malawi kwacha. 100,000 in 2001 was not small money. Every time I'm walking past MTL Tower, I'll think they're seeing me. You might think I'm joking, but it's actually true. I used to struggle. I used to go all the way to Makwasa and use another road so that I don't pass by MTL. And thank God in His mercy, they decided to bring a digital connection, and somehow it disappeared with my bill. So I never got to pay that bill. I decided to go to Zimbabwe to study Air Plus. I did a 3-month course, and it was not working. I wanted a degree. Sometimes in life, don't. Remember, we're talking about the pursuit to excellence. Do not lower your dreams. Do not lower your standards. If you plan to marry a person that doesn't do X, Y, Z, don't say because of I've been looking and this is all that's on the market. Don't lower your standards, because when you do, you'll never be content. Your dream is your dream. You need to pursue it. So I came back from Zimbabwe because this was not working. When I got back, I quickly applied at the University of Eastern Baraton as an English major. I can explain that. Now, there's something profound I did here. I applied. There's no school fees. There's no transport. My parents were not even talking about school. I used to bring up the conversation. But what did I do? I applied. What you can do, begin to do. Because you see, the problem is we want capital. We want me to come to your house and say, hey, sir, I've got capital for your single. You're a good singer here. Go to record. After that, distribution is there. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. You have to realize that there are things I can do. I can apply. It's just a letter and send it. So what you can do, do. You need to begin with what you have. If God has given you a voice, become a public speaker. If God has given you a healthy body, become a trainer. But start using the gifts God has given you. This is a corporate event. I hope you're not singing for free. It's the truth. Every service provider is being paid. Why should a singer not be paid? So start using what you have. And trust me, if I approach you to sing at my corporate event and you say, I'm coming, and you don't talk about an invoice, I will not bring up an invoice. Nobody wants to pay. But if we value your talent and you say, guys, I need 100,000, we'll go sit down and we'll come back and negotiate and give you 75,000. You get where I'm driving at? So start using what you have. I started looking for online scholarships. It didn't work. My dad suggested I join Lakeview. It had just started offering degrees. There were like 4 students. I refused. And that created a big problem in the house. He was not talking to me for some time. I was looking at him, look, you went to Solusi. There's no way I'm going to Lakeview. I have no problem with Lakeview, by the way. But I had a goal. If possible, do not use convenience at the expense of the main goal. Because sometimes we do things for convenience and we bury our dreams because we're growing old, because we don't have money, because Malawi is poor, because the government doesn't care about us. Well, government doesn't care about anybody. Because who's government? Can you name a person called government? We blame something that doesn't exist. I think we'll edit that part. That's a picture of me fixing computers in Malamulo. I wanted to go to school at all costs. Your desire should drive you. If your desire doesn't drive you, stop desiring it. You know, have you ever seen thieves when they're explaining how they entered a house? You're like, you fit in this space. You know what's driving them? Desire. The desire is to go collect what's in the house. So it doesn't matter how small the hole is, they will penetrate until they get what they want. Bad example, but it's a graphical illustration on how desire will drive you to push obstacles for your personal gain. The last event I did in trying to raise school fees was I had a potato farm in Tsangano. I used to sleep by Uncle B restaurant. You know Uncle B in Chew? There's a rest house there. I'd sleep there from Blantyre, sleep there, and then in the morning take those 110, you know 110? All the way to Tsangano. Those of you who've used that road before, the tarmac, when you get there, you look like the road. And thank God there were no smartphones there then. Unfortunately, I failed to raise school fees, but I still wanted to go to school. And my submission to you today is that you will fail, and that is fine. Yeah, it's okay to fail. I mean, even Jesus failed dismally. His mission was to serve the world. How many did he serve? And it's fine, because his mission was what? Accomplished. So you will fail, and that is okay. Trip of faith to school without school fees. Sometimes you just have to start off. School fees or no school fees, let's go. I went to school, I went to Baraton on a bus from this depot, Lilongwe depot here, to Tanzania, Kairako, it's called Kairako. From there, a bus to Nairobi, Kenya. Always have a strategy. I needed a strategy because I knew I had no school fees. Don't walk blindly. So you have no school fees, you need to have at least a plan to enter. So I told my dad, write a letter saying you work for Malamulo SDA Church and make sure it has a letterhead. I'm going back to that one. Make sure it has a letterhead. My dad agreed. My dad went and took an advance, and I think he gave me 15,000 kwacha. I had saved 50,000. Unfortunately, we got to the Tanzania border and they robbed us. You know that thing where you're changing money from one currency to another, then they do one-to-one. And then, so Kama Menyere was the one, he was older than us, so we gave him the money to do the transaction. And when we were in the bus, I just saw his eyes become watery. I'm like, "Sir, are you okay?" He's like, "Sam, we've just been robbed." And you see, at that time, that means I'm left with 50,000 Tanzania kwacha, Tanzania shillings. And because we had booked a bus all the way from Malawi, they robbed us again when we were buying, to Kenya. I didn't have enough money for the Kenya route. I get emotional when I say this, so I need to smile first. I sat on a bucket. Somebody needs to crack a joke. I sat on a bucket from Tanzania to Kenya. By the time I got to Nairobi, I had sores on my bum. I've never had those sores ever again. I don't even know what they were, but early in the morning, for some reason, they cleared. I thank God. Do not underestimate the power of determination. When you are determined, even if they steal your money at the border, there is no coming back. It's forward we go. Just do it. I'm sure I've talked to a number of young men here. Nike, just do it. I love that quote. Miracle at school. So we get to we get to the rooms. So fortunately, there's some Malawian people there, Titani, Mapopa, and I'm happy that they're Malawian guys. I kind of feel at home. Everybody's talking about bank draft, Western Union, bank deposit, I have cash. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what, nah, I have to be looking for transport to go back home because this conversation is not fitting with my situation. So Kama told me, you first go to finance, then you go to the registrar. Now, the registrar was Pastor Moyo, and he's Malawian. So I said, no, I'll go to Pastor Moyo first. And maybe he'll recognize me and say, Pastor Chiwanda's son, I'll pay your fees. So I went to, and that's exactly how I thought, by the way. I'm not even trying to crack a joke. So I went to Pastor Moyo's office and said, Sam, and you know he's very soft-spoken. Oh, from Malawi. Go to finance. I'm like, okay, sir. I go back to finance, and I knew this is the last place I go, and I'm out. I enter the office, and Amon Karanja is there. And now, because a lot of students are trying to register, he's overwhelmed. He says, you see, God works in miraculous ways. He says, can I have all church-sponsored this side and all self-sponsored this side? I said, my dad has worked for 30 years. I'm church-sponsored. I jumped to the church-sponsored side. And before you knew it, he started asking for proof of sponsorship. I gave him that later. He just saw Malamulo. Oh, Malamulo, Malamulo. You know, I have an uncle who visited Malamulo many years ago. It was the first mission in Malawi. I'm like, yes. Before you knew it, I was a church-sponsored student. And that is a picture of me and my friends in university. And Anne is here. I went to school with Anne. She's from Kenya. I never, on any day, looked like a student without school fees. I was happy as everybody else, and I lived a very normal life. I graduated with 2 degrees, and I can tell you this. There was, the treasurer that time was the guy from Zambia, Pastor Elder, I've forgotten his name. So what he used to do, he called my dad and said, okay, I've received a bill for your son. I can send it back and they'll kick him out of school. But this is what I'm going to do. I will be hiding it and pretending I have not seen it. So tell him to hurry up and finish school. So he used to just file it. But now, money is not going to Baraton, so my account is not credited. So Mr. Momanyi calls me and said, my son, we've been working by faith for 3 years. We want some works. Your people are not paying. They said, no, you know these things take long. Huh? Let's give them another year. I'm sure they'll pay. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, I'm sure. Our union is doing well. They will pay. Immediately, I realized I have to finish my studies. I completed, I graduated. Ladies and gentlemen, I paid my school fees 5 years ago, after I was long done with school. So, if it can be done, it can be done. You don't always have to be 100% prepared, but you can be prepared. So I'm going to share some snapshots. Remember, I'm talking about the pursuit of excellence, right? So that we're together. Now, I got to university with my high school clothes. There was no problem with that until I met Ebenezer, my former high school friend. And he's like, Sam, you're still wearing the same shirts. I told him, Ebenezer, life has not been very kind to me, and I had no choice but to wear this. He's like, no, don't worry, my friend. What's important? You're here for school. Then my mom, you know, mothers are amazing people, but they can mess you up. If somebody is traveling to Kenya, she sends white shoes, which I had deliberately left. And when the person delivered, my Malawian friends They gave me a tough time. I do, the laptop. So I'm gifted in typing. I'm a fast typer. So my strategy was when I go to school, I'll be typing notes for students, and then I'll be selling them. So Dr. Mfune invited me, because I don't know why people thought I was good in computers even before I studied them. So Dr. Mfune called for me. He was the union president. He's like, I've bought a new laptop. I'm like, okay. Can you transfer this from here, put here? I was like, okay, you know what? I'm talking to myself. This other laptop is mine. I'll transfer, and then I'll talk to Uncle Sostin to give me this laptop. So I've transferred everything. Then I went to him. I'm like, no, doctor, can you sell me this one? Like, how much do you want to give me? I'm like, how much can you sell it? Like, $400. I'm like, okay, I can give you $400. I didn't have $400. But I mean, we call him Uncle Sostin, so Uncle starts from there. So I took the laptop. Guys, I went to university with that laptop without paying. I ended up paying for that laptop, I think 6 years ago. And he was very shocked. He was very shocked. He's like, you remember, I really thought you had just pulled a fast one on me. I'm like, no, I didn't have the money then. I have the money now, and I want to pay for the laptop. When the time is right, fix your mess. I'm not going to cry. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to cry. So when the time is right, fix your mess. As we go through the road to success, we will step on feet. We will use shortcuts. We will anger some people. When God has blessed you, go back that road and fix your mess. It's very, very important. I don't know if I still have time. My first job, I negotiated for my first job. I got a girlfriend 3 months before graduation. Huge mistake. Because now I want to stay in Kenya. I don't want to go back to Malawi. And you know, it's not easy to get a job in Kenya. And worse, if you're a foreigner. And I was fresh from university. So God gifted me with a gift of strategy. You know, I don't know about kids today, but when we were chased from school for school fees, we never went to our parents and say we've been chased. We first looked for Ganyu. You know, Ganyu, the peace jobs, would go to staff houses and slash, would go to the farm and get some piecework. When we got home, we had a problem and a solution. Kids today, man, stop overweighting on your parents. Sometimes sit down and think, what can I do for myself? God gave us 2 hands, God gave us 2 feet. You can come to hotels like this and ask, what can I supply? What job can you give me? Your garden doesn't look good. Can I fix it? We used to slash. Stop waiting for people to solve your problems. It's not going to happen. So I negotiated for my job. Now, here's the trick. This is very important because most of you are looking for work, right? I have a few friends I've invited here. Most of you are looking for work. And nobody's going to give you a job because there's a lot of competition. There's education, there's experience, there is, name it. So I have a strategy I can give you today. Go for the lowest job in the institution, even if it's for free. Because what is important is to enter. You see, our guest of honor, in Zambia, you probably can't meet this guy. Secretaries will be blocking you, PAs will be blocking you, but you've entered here, he's a hand stretch away. Sometimes what is important is to enter. So even if you are serving, even if you are on the cameras, even if you are carrying water, enter. And when you enter, when there's an opportunity, trust me, before they look outside, they'll first look inside. There's this young man who brings water here. Can he be the one updating these databases? The problem is we want to be CEOs We want to be the manager before we even know what the guy at the bottom is doing. So I went in there and said, I don't want a salary. I just want to work for you and learn. And they said, no problem. So my friend Damakrin Mora, I think you know her, she called William and Brian Keeley. And they said, no, if he doesn't want to be paid, let him come, we'll give him a desk. And that is how I landed on my first job. It didn't take 3 months, I was on payroll. Because they are my friends now. They see me coming to work. They're like, okay, why are you not paying this boy? Give him something small to take him from day to day. I was not performing on the job. It was not working out. Then I realized they're going to fire me. Listen, guys, learn to read the room. You know, even when a relationship is about to end, you can see that I'm hanging on a thread here. Learn to quickly read the room so that you can make the right decisions. So I realized that, okay, here, they're going to fire me. These guys are not happy with me. Because even the way they were talking to me started changing. Then I said, guys, I have an idea. Let's open a branch in Malawi. After all, that relationship that kept me here was on the rocks, so it was time to go back home. Let's open a branch in Malawi. And trust me, nobody is going to refuse an opportunity of expansion. They agreed. Before you knew it, I was no longer that ordinary guy in the office on a basic salary. I was a shareholder, country director of Attain Enterprise Solutions in Malawi. Just by realizing that we can open this branch in Malawi. Sometimes we all want to go out and leaving everybody these opportunities right here at home. If you just partner with a company and tell them, look, I'll be your manager in Malawi, I'll be your shareholder, they'll give you the opportunity because everybody wants to expand. The important thing is to go in. I've put a golf club there deliberately. Most big shots like playing golf. I tried it, it didn't work. But go to those golf courses and meet the right people. That is where they are. Go in. Nobody's going to stop their car and say, I feel like that guy is going to help me. It's not going to happen. Go in. This is a very, very sensitive one. And very, very personal. Study your life and know your grace. If something goes missing in this room and everybody suspects you, you need to know that you look like a thief. And the earlier you accept that, the better. If you go to Blantyre, something goes missing and they say, this is the thief. You go to Zuzu, these are different sets of people. And you're still the one being suspected to be the thief, even when you have not stolen. You need to begin to accept that I actually do look like a thief. And do something about it. If it means improving your dressing, if it means showering more, if it means trying to prove to people that you're an honest person by maybe taking a position as a treasurer and doing a good job, you need to start fixing that. You know, those of you in the corporate world will agree with me. There are some people who are very good at their job. But you'll find some character who doesn't even know what he's doing. He's being promoted every week, every month. And the guy at the bottom gets frustrated to say, how come these guys, they come here, I do all the work. He's now the MD. He's now the FD. You need to understand that there's some people, when they walk into a room, they are noticed. You can even run here now and nobody will notice you. And you need to know that, okay, so I'm the kind of person that, you know, if we go out now and I ask Elder or John, who was at the event? There are people he will remember, there are people he won't remember. So you as an individual, you need to know that when I'm in a room, people don't notice me. What does that mean? You need to start voicing out. You need to start making your presence felt. Otherwise, you will die at the bottom because nobody will notice you. Even at church, there are people we just discovered that getting married. Who? It's become 25 years. Yes. This church. Because you are naturally unnoticeable. There are people who just walk in, they don't even have to say anything. We know that they are here. So know your life, study your life in depth. Even those painful spaces, study them and realize that I have this weakness and it limits me in these ways. What can I do to counterattack it? When you want something from somebody, focus on what they're going to gain, not what you will gain. If you want a job, focus on what you deliver on the job. Come in as if you are being taken advantage of. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. What's in it for me? If you are not bringing any value, you will probably not get what you're looking for. Click Mobile is born. Click Mobile started in my bedroom. I stress my mom a lot for airtime. That is why I take good care of her now. My parents didn't understand me. Community didn't understand me. I remember my dad talked to this postmaster general then. His name was Mr. Kumbatir. Mr. Kumbatir said, we're looking for an IT officer. My dad came to my house and said, Sam, post office wants an IT officer, and Mr. Kumbatira has told me you should apply. He'll do whatever he can to make sure you get the job. I didn't apply. My dad did not understand. I think we went 2 weeks without talking to each other. Some people went to my father and told him, we feel like your son is losing it, hey? Or you've wasted your money. That time I paid my school fees. You've wasted money on this boy. You've wasted money on this boy. He's being unproductive. Nobody understood me because I was refusing to get work. I had a goal. And let me tell you something. When you know something is going to pay off, there's nobody who feels it but you. You can take your idea, John, to him and you tell, Yesterday there's a guy who told me about bamboo. I'm like, bamboo? What can you probably do with bamboo? But he is convinced that there is something he can do with bamboo. So my not understanding of bamboo should not stop you from pursuing your dream of bamboo. My first employee was Effie. She was earning 40,000 kwacha a month. Click Enterprises is born. Problem number one, capital. I'm talking to the young people now. No one will ever give you capital. Even all this, you should spend more time with me, guys. Especially if you're from Malawi, the moment you try to raise capital and you mention Malawi, you be a high-risk country when it comes to being lended money. They will not give it to you. It goes to US citizens, Canada. That's why you have all these amazing startups in good economies. I started this, I had 50 million venture capital injected. You will run and run. Nobody's going to give you money. The earlier you realize that, the better. I started selling clothes. I used to go to Isli. You know Isli? I'd get suits there and come and sell them in Malawi to raise money for the business I wanted to run. You know 100% human hair, the ones ladies used to put? I used to sell that. I've sold that. I wasn't even ashamed of it. Then when I realized that wasn't working, I decided to do a strategic partnership with a company called Mobivate. I learned so much, but I was not delivering as they wanted me to, and I quit. I tried to get bank loans, it didn't work. I tried to meet Tom Pinganjira, amazing guy. He gave me an audience, but he didn't understand what I wanted. Then he told me, he put in a good word for me with the branch manager so that they should give me the loan. And then the branch manager introduced me to the credit guy. I was so sure, finally, this is my breakthrough. I'm getting that money. The moment I walked in, it's like he saw my papers. Samuel Chiwanda, hey, we're struggling with your father. He got a loan here and he's not serviced it for some time. And that is where the lawn dream ended. I went into Caterpillar. The most dangerous thing you can ever do for yourself is to go into that nonsense. Don't do it. I don't care how much you want that dream. I don't care how much you're chasing it. I owed close to 100 million kwacha. I came out of it by God's grace. You may not be able to come out of it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're better off sleeping hungry, going back to your parents' house. There's this system now of hiring cars. If you don't have a car, you don't have a car. Accept your situation. Accept your status. It's very, very important. I went into Caterpillar. My life became a huge mess. I struggled with anxiety. I started hiding. There was a club here called Breeze by Bandilo. So when the guys who I owe are at my house, I'd hide at Breeze. Then I'd be calling the guys at home, Peter, have they left? Now, at Breeze, there was a rule. You don't sit down if you don't have a bottle of alcohol. I've never taken alcohol in my life. I don't drink. So what I'll do, I'd wait for the rich boys who drink and leave something small. And then as soon as they go out and I'm sure they've left, I collect the bottle and put it in front of me. So when the barman and the security are checking, they see a bottle in front of me and they think I'm drinking. And the more they saw me daily, they began to become friendly with me. That is what death did to me. There's a ringtone. Today, if it plays here, I will jump. That was the ringtone that played throughout this season on my phone. And each time I hear that ringtone, it traumatizes me because it reminds me of my dark days. That's me hiding in Blantyre at Rayo's Hotel when I owed almost half the Lilongwe. So hotels are a good place to hide because most of the people I owed, they never used to come to hotels. So I'd pretend I'm working, but I was hiding from people that I owed. Survival strategy. I'm talking to somebody who's in debt today. Pick holes for everyone you owe. I cannot emphasize that enough. They will insult you. They will shout at you. They will call you names, but pick the phone. Because if you don't pick the phone, you are giving them ideas. That is when you find they've cappered you. That is when you find they're taking things from your house. Because you've shown them disrespect, they will then start looking for ideas on how to deal with you. But if you communicate, accept your situation, tell them, guys, I do not have the money. And I'm very, very sorry. It will buy you favor from people than ignoring phone calls. I started doing merry-go-round. You see where I borrow from Elder to give John, borrow from John to give Elder. And if one delays to pay you, you create a crisis. I'm sure some of you have been through that mess. I used to buy cars from my cousin on credit. So what I'll do, I'll go to Rogers and say, give me a car for 6 million. Then because he's had the stock for too long, he wants to release it, he'd give it to me. Then I go to 18 here and sell it for 4 million. That means I've taken a loan at 2 million interest. Then I sort out the mess I'm in, especially those that are bothering me, and wait for my cousin's fire in 3 months and deal with him when he comes. I bought land in Airwing and tried to demarcate it to sell it. It didn't work. I ended up selling the whole plot. So I constantly was thinking of ways of making money. Now, the problem with that status is you can't innovate. Because your goal now is to find money to pay your debts. So how do you think of ideas? How do you build ideas? How do you innovate? So don't put yourself into debt because it's going to steal so much from you when you're caught up in that mess. These are the offices. Another mistake I made was to move into an office too quick. Because that's an expense, right? So we're kicked out of offices. Water was disconnected. I'm going to share a few experiences. Chibuku experience. Chibuku offered us a contract. And somebody recommended my name. I went to the MD, and the MD said, okay, Go write the contract. I called a guy I owed and told him, look, I'm signing a contract with Chibuku. Give me 2 hours. I'll let you know when I'll give you the money. I drafted the contract. I got to Chibuku and the MD said, you are late. I just signed with somebody else. My heart sank. I literally, I like looking at John. Because you see, when I look at John, I stop crying because I remember when he was a kid. He used to make me really happy. So I literally just looked at the CEO, at the MD, and I asked him, can I sit on your chair? He said yes, and I started crying. He said, look, young man, I'll let you cry, and when you're done, you can go. I said, thank you. I cried. Then I said, in the future, please remember us. And I went out. Now I have to go deal with that guy I've promised. After 2 hours, I'll have a solution for you. Then I bought a laptop, trying to look fancy and look good. I bought Effie a laptop. And I made a deal with this guy, I won't mention his name. And I said, I'll pay you in 3 months. I don't know why months move so fast when you owe people money. Month 1 came, month 2 came, month 3, he called me and said, Sam, where's the money? I said, look, I failed to raise it. He said, Sam, we hire laptops out at 5,000 kwacha per day. He came and took the laptop, and I owed him 5,000 times 90 days from that day. Our water was disconnected. I made an office deal. Let me not talk about this because it exposes the person, so I'll skip it. Let's talk about the lost car. If I hear about the office deal, see me when there are no cameras. So I'm getting stressed, I'm getting depressed, I'm getting messed up, literally. I'm just a huge mess. So my dad gives me his car in Blantyre. I'm driving and I park it at Standard Bank. So I go into Mount Sochi. Remember, my base is hotels, for obvious reasons, right? So I'm at Mount Sochi on my laptop. Then, time to go home, I walk to Malawi Union, and the car is not there. So I'm like, they've stolen the car. I call my mom. My mom, I don't know, my mom cries easily. My mom is already crying. My dad is panicking. The car is stolen. I called Titanimton. The Titan says, you need to call Interpol. I don't have their numbers. Let me call them. I get a taxi. I say, look, I parked my car here and didn't have a lot of fuel. Can we run out? So we went to filling station number 1, the one close to Rios, and asked them, have you seen a car like that? The number of cars that pass here, there's no way we're going to remember that car. Then as we turn up, so I'm like, let's try the road to the roundabout, or Mulanje. So the taxi guy is turning up. My car is parked on Standard Bank. That is what debt, depression, and stress will do to you. I literally forgot where I'd parked the car. I was depressed. I have a friend called Louis Chipovsha. I didn't invite him here, but he was there in Blantyre. This guy came to me. Why this guy has a whole chapter in my book is because he gave me the first opportunity. I think you should pause those cameras because now I'm crying. So you can't have people watching me and I have tears all over the place. Okay, you can start. So I met Louis Chipovsha sometime, and what we're trying to do didn't work out. Then I approached him again. They said, Sam, I'm going to give you an opportunity. Can you do this product for me? I can't mention it because I don't have the rights, and it's owned by TNM, right? Then I said, yes, I can. And we started working on it. It failed the first time, it worked the first time. And ladies and gentlemen, that is where my life changed forever. First million. I've made money now, huh? I have a first million. I went into FDH, and I'm trying to talk to people who will be successful one day. My first million made me lose my character in a way. I think because I was coming from a place of deep darkness. I went into FDH, I caused chaos. There was a long queue. I'm like, you're delaying me. I'm a millionaire. Stressed the receptionist, stressed the ladies at the counter. And then, 3 weeks later, I needed to go to Cape Town for my first AfricaCom. Airtel was taking time to pay us. So somebody said, you know what, there's what we call invoice discounting. Airtel writes a letter saying they will pay the bank, and then the bank can give you an amount from that invoice so that you can do what you want, and then when Airtel pays, the bank will give you the money. Or they'll just credit the account and debit. I said, that's a good idea. But then I remembered the chaos I caused in that bank. So I decided to go to Standard Bank instead of FDH. And you know what's funny? When you want a loan, you start greeting the security guy. You are very kind and polite. I always say, go into the bank and you will know who has money and who doesn't. People with money are very arrogant. They're even speaking at the top of their voices. Yo, no, I'm here. So-and-so, how are you doing? It's the ones that are coming for loans that are whispering. Elder, church was good. Because you probably don't want people to know you're coming to borrow money. No status is permanent. You can have money tomorrow and you will not have it tomorrow. So if God blesses you and you become successful, stay humble. I think they're coming to talk about time. Money belongs to nobody. That's why when we die, we leave it. So don't ever put money before humanity. It's humans first. Sometimes ideas don't make sense to others. I talked about that point. You see the famous bank alerts you're doing now. You're receiving bank notification. I was the first person to have that conversation with the mobile operators. They didn't even understand it. And 10, 15 years later, it's tradition. Everybody's using it. So that idea that looks useless to you could actually be at a hatching point for the next 5 years. So don't sleep on it. We rebranded to Click Mobile, expanded. I talked about this. We opened a branch in Botswana. Now we are in 8 countries. We registered, we got our registration for Uganda on Friday. And here's the truth of the matter. If we operated in Malawi alone, we would have closed down by now. Because our business heavily relies on Forex. And the Forex policies in the country make it very difficult for you to have services. Like all our systems sit in the cloud and we pay in dollars. So do not limit yourself to Malawi. The world has become a global village. Think global. He's here from Zambia. Pester him. How can I open this in Zambia? How do the laws of Zambia work? Before you know it, you'll be making money in Zambia, making money in Malawi. Always be a step ahead. We built our SMS platform, voice platform, our bulk tool, USSD gateways, before they were even needed. And now every time a person raises, we want an API for this, we're ready. We're ready. What are you ready for? If Elder came here or somebody came here and say, I have $10 million for a company that's registered, will you be in the group? I have 10 million for a company that's ready to run. Will you be in the group? Do the basics. Register with MRIA. What needs to be done, get it done. 20 employees across Africa. Most people, you see, find David. David, stand up. I love my team. I love my team. David, where did you catch your first flight? Like courtesy of what? His first flight was courtesy of Click Mobile. Which countries have you been to? This is not a show-off stage. This is a motivational stage. That's why I started with the background. Which countries have you been to?
I've been to a couple of countries here in Africa as well as in Europe.
Courtesy of Click Mobile. So it doesn't matter. You've seen my background. So where you're coming from does not determine where you're going. And thank you. And I treat my team as my family. I'm not their boss. They're my colleagues. Africans, we have a big problem. When God gives us leadership positions, it's not time to revenge. It's not time to show your powers. David shouldn't be polishing my shoes. I don't know if you get where I'm driving at. He is a human being. We need to respect him. We need to honor each other. He's my friend. He's my brother and my colleague. It's a principle of life to honor and respect every human being God gives access, you're given access to. This is our team. Went for a team building in Cape Town, and that is us in Kenya. These are the branches that we have. We've got several awards. This one came from my team. If your team has never sat down and decided we're gifting you with something, you need to check your leadership skills. If on your birthday you don't receive any gift from your team, something is definitely wrong with you as a leader. This was an award I got in Malaga. Last year we got an award as the best provider in Africa. As much as you can, give and share. You are not being called to excellence for yourself. Remember your sisters. Remember your brothers. Remember your friends. Help as much as you can and try to make the difference where you can. There are no limits to what you can accomplish by God's grace.